Hello, Liveys. Hello, Liveys. Hello, livers. Livers. Ah, score wellness. Here we go. Dr. Ayanna, are you there? Hello, Dr. Ayanna.
There's my baby.
Hey, chickadee.
Paging Dr. Ayana. And it begins. What's up?
Hey, cuz.
Looking like your daddy twin.
I know.
From one daddy twin to another daddy twin. Oh, my camera is delayed. Does it look delayed to you?
A little bit.
I hope it work out. I hope it fixes itself.
It's gonna do what it do, right?
It's gonna do what it do. So we gonna do what we do. Hello from Knit with a Naturopath. Sound like somebody you know.
That's Ayesha. Hi, Ayesha.
Yay! So, cousin,
Yeah.
what's up? How you feeling?
Today I'm a little grumpy because we had some snow this morning, so I'm trying not to be too negative, and we had to drive in it to drop the kids off. So I'm trying to rework my attitude, trying to switch it up.
Yeah.
Took a hot shower, gave myself a little, I was like, what do I need right now? Because I'm not feeling myself. So what do I need? And so I was like, all right, I need some nutrition. I need to feed myself. Initially I wanted some pancakes, and I was like, nope, don't do pancakes. Do the smoothie, then do some oatmeal. Just come on, stay in the right lane. Don't veer off too crazy. Yes, so that's me up until this moment, trying to work with myself.
Girl, that's a whole word. You trying to work with yourself was you just ignited a whole movement. I mean, we need to sit with this for a minute. You sat and you asked yourself, what do I need in this moment? Girl, that's some power. That's some power right there. You refused the pancakes and you went with the oatmeal and you said eggs.
A smoothie.
Smoothie and oatmeal. Girl, that is power. Because I wouldn't have refused them pancakes. Especially if I was feeling like how you were feeling, which is out of sorts. I would have been like, pancakes gonna get me back on track.
That's what I need. I mean, the day is not over, so we'll see. Like I said, I'm working with myself, and so right now, the more industrious person, because I knew if I had pancakes, I would be tired for talking to you, and it would just slow my whole thing down, because I would get like the sugar high, and I'd be super excited, and then I would just be like a carb low basically afterwards. So it helps to know, what happened. So I was like, all right, I do need, like I said, I may get some pancakes for lunch. That may happen still. But I also need some nutrition to set me off. So instead of doing coffee, which I really wanted, the smoothie has the vitamins, and we'll see. We're going to see what it does.
And this is what you get when you invite a naturopath on your live. You get the knowledge effortlessly. Like, we over here just talking about breakfast, and she dropped the gems. And your friend said, very powerful. You over there flexing. Indeed, met with a naturopath. Indeed, my cousin is flexing. Okay, so let's just get the formalities out the way. Dr. Ayanna Quamina, naturopath, doctor. Meritia Gabriel, writing coach, course creator, author. We are both best-selling authors. However, I only found that out by looking at your little bio or something. Somewhere I found it out, somewhere obscure. I don't know, is it even in your bio? Like, hello, can we talk about this?
Yes.
See, that's why when Amber and I did the live before, we thought we was the only entrepreneurs in the family. Then this is why I thought I was the only bestseller in the family. The family don't be talking.
Right.
Okay, tell us about it.
So yes, best-selling author. Let's see. I am a part of a cohort of naturopathic doctors, Black female naturopathic doctors in the country. And my dope girlfriend and colleague, Dr. Trisha, she put together her business. We're all entrepreneurs in mind. And her business is to collate authors and put stuff out. Like, that's what she does. And I joined in her group last year in the midst of COVID, and we put together a book of, it's a Black, excuse me, the Black Women's Healthopedia is the name of it, right here.
Okay, we got the book right next to us, though. From Miss Modesty to hello right here. I can't with you.
I know, right? It happens to be laying on my table to remind me to promote it. So it's right here.
She's a publisher. Your friend said she's a publisher. Okay.
Yes, she self-publishes, and so she did I did work as far as writing it. So I did a couple of entries on stress and how stress affects the nervous system, and also how to manage your stress, and how basically how you can do things that are small but effective things to help get you better, like a hug. Basically, regular hugs help keep you cancer-free, stuff like that, you know.
Wait, can we pause there? Or do you no, you can finish and then we can go back to the hug. Finish. Oh my God, hug, Ayanna.
Yes, girl. Scientifically proven.
Let's talk about hugs. Talk about it. You said it can keep you cancer free. Can we talk about this? Go ahead.
For a moment? I know, huh?
Yeah. What you know about hugs?
Yes, so hugs are basically things that make you warm and fuzzy, and hugs are an easy way to do it. But thinking about a loved one, or petting your cat, or taking a walk with the dog, or laughing, just anything that helps you feel that warm and fuzzy feeling, that's a real thing. So that increases your endorphins and oxytocin and all these big words, these chemicals in your body. So that feeling is really the feeling of these things flushing through your system. And the more that flushes through your system, the stronger your DNA gets, and the less cellular turnover that you have. So you have less toxins flushing through your system. So if you're stressed out, literally get a hug. That's really what you need to do. That's going to help you keep you out of the toxic environment in your body.
So Knit with a naturopath agrees with you saying that touch therapy is well documented. Yes. Y'all have any resources you can share with the people of where we can start to research that?
Well, the first place you could research it is here.
Boom. Okay. Thought it wasn't when it was. It's a whole plug.
That's so fam. Yes. Yes. And I said it because that I put the resources in there. So I have all the documentation to show you where to go.
Okay, so I'll buy my copy then.
Right. So it's on Amazon. You can get your book on Amazon. It has a workbook and a notebook too. So if you're feeling enthused or inspired, you can write through a little notebook as well.
Oh my God, that's important to know. Thank you.
Yeah, she did. Trisha is dope. I mean, not to say that I'm not, but she also did this notebook, a workbook too. So it's like a journal that helps you work through the stuff you just learned about. So is that
a separate book? Okay.
Yeah. So basically the whole trio. Like that.
Not the whole package though. Basically the whole from 1 to 2 to 3.
It's a bundle. Okay, wrap it all in.
Okay, we just need to give you permission and you become like a promotion queen, a marketing maven. So I remember once I was training with a personal trainer, and I was having going through something, and then he was like, "Come on, we gonna hug this tree." Okay. Now growing up, you would hear about tree huggers, right? And
Don't
it
say
always
it for
seemed
my
like,
dog.
oh, that's okay. Dogs matter too. Dogs' lives matter too. So, okay, Dr. Trisha Hamilton.
Yes,
That's the
that's it.
that's the publisher.
Yeah, Dr. Trisha.
Okay,
She, we were all close
Trisha.
friends back in school.
Oh, okay. See, from Spelman.
No, this is our med school back in Arizona.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
And the truth is between the pages is what Knit with. I love Knit with a naturopath. She is in here with us. She in the trenches with us. She on the live with us. Can we get 3 people on the live? Okay, I'm gonna see if she's on there.
Yes.
But I wanted to say, so growing up, I feel like I be shouting. Let me take it down a little bit. I get too excited. So I wanted to say that.
Why? Okay, go ahead.
No, it's really, your dog is not really. Oh, he might be bothering you more than he's bothering me.
Okay.
Like I can barely hear him between all the thoughts shouting in my head. I gotta calm my thoughts down first, then maybe I can hear your dog. But the thoughts want to tell you that that growing up we would hear about, tree huggers, and it was always like crunchy, the stereotype of crunchy, blonde even, hippie, hugging a tree, or somebody hugging a tree to stop deforestation or environment, chaining themselves to a tree. Either way, connected to a tree was not a Black person for me growing up. And so when my trainer, who was Black, hugged this tree, and then he pointed out, he made me pay attention to what was happening, and I realized, like, oh, okay, tree hugging is real. It's real medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Real medicine. And sometimes I remind myself, it's something I have to keep reminding myself of, like if I walk the marina and then afterwards, if I feel some type of way or for whatever reason, need to relax, I'll go against the tree. And it really does give you that energy. It's deep.
Mm-hmm. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. I mean, you get everything we have is from the earth, so it makes sense. We're from here. Sense. It helps to ground you. There's a whole science behind earthing. So getting your feet into the soil to help feel grounded and relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole thing about seeing the oceans and the waves. We're connected. It's not something that we need to deny or push off or say that's for someone else, for a different culture. I mean, we're the original people anyway, so even more so. That really is how we can connect, right? Can we go there?
Okay, preach. We had trees through my brother's wedding challenges. Ooh, I like that. I mean, really keeping trees in your toolkit. Like I keep telling myself I'm going to make a little booklet so I can remember everything in my toolkit. Because sometimes when it comes down to there's levels of crisis, right? So there's the first level, and I'll remember oh, let me go get in the salt bath. Let me go to the salt tank, or let me go walk the marina. But sometimes the crisis can get so critical that you forget everything. And that's why I was like, I need to write this down so when I get blank, I can go to my little book and I need to put trees in that. In fact, can we do that? Can that be a craft? Me, you, and Amber too, when we see each other. Can we do that? Can we make a resource list for ourselves, a book for ourselves?
I love that idea.
Okay. And we challenging y'all out there, the community out there, to join us in creating your self-care apothecary. I'm using words. I don't even know what apothecary is. It's just a popular buzzword. So I'm using it. But your self-care apothecary resource book for yourself. She said, don't get me started on ground. Oh, yes. Who is there with a naturopath? Ayanna, come on. Who is your phone? They out here. They active. Naturopath is active out here. Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Tell us about grounding. She's saying don't get me started on grounding. You know what she's talking about? Why is she saying that?
She was the one that got me into it. That, again, we went to school together. We were sitting, yin and yang right next to each other, talking about stuff. So she reminds me about earthing. You know, that's my girl who checks up on me, who I check up on, of how you doing, what's going on. You know, are you doing with the things that you need to be doing? And yeah, she was doing grounding for a majority of the last year or so, just again to get you back to just calm things down. It just does wonders for you. It's basically just getting your feet in the soil. That's essentially what grounding is take your shoes off if you can, just bare feet, and go walk outside. Get your butt outside, walk in the grass, walk in the ocean, or walk in the beach. Just get
that beach sand. Okay. Oh, excuse me, I just so it's for life. Dang. Okay, so that's something that I would do. Girl, okay. Oh my God, I'm making my list now because that's something I used to do too. I used to go to Alameda Beach and walk it in the morning and walk it barefoot. And it would like just being on, because I also had read about how the wet sand, the part of the sand that's wet from is really good at like pulling out toxins in our body, and I had read that too. So in addition to the grounding that I didn't know what was taking place, is also that element of that, the wet sand has a cleansing effect on us. But then also being by the ocean was so important for me, to the point that I found that even when the pandemic first started and everything felt really isolated, I would go to because in that isolation can bring up other emotional things that you weren't focused on before, or you focused on it differently. So I would go to the ocean, and the ocean became my adopted mother, actually. So I would go with like that sense of, this is a mother that I need, the nurturing that I needed growing up, the parental nurturing actually from, that I needed growing, that warmth, that guidance. And I would just listen. So I was like, if I had a question, I would ask the question, and then I would just listen, and I would receive whatever came to my mind. I would accept it as the answer. So whereas before, you walking around all day, you thinking about things, and then you too busy to even hear, or whatever first comes to your mind, you just like, well, that just came from me. That's an answer that I just gave myself. That doesn't count. That's not the real answer. But I decided that this was the real answer, and it really helped me. Okay, she says, if you can't walk, just sit or stand on a patch of grass somewhere, just renewing our connection with Mother Earth. We're never truly alone.
Telling you.
Let me see if we could do 3 people.
I'm saying you need to get her on here.
Can we? What's her name again? Here it is. Invite. Add it with a naturopath to your live. People who can see. Okay, go live with. If it kick you off, Ayanna, I'm coming back for you.
Okay.
Let's see if we can add her. I just put a thing to add her.
Come on, Ish, pop up on here.
We'll see.
She might not be ready.
Hold up.
I haven't even been up.
I got 2 naturopaths up on my page. Hold up. Y'all getting life-changing right topic. 2 doctors? Okay.
Hello.
What's your name?
Hello.
What's your name, girlfriend? What's your name?
Ayanna, know I be half asleep.
What's your name, mama?
My name is Ayesha, Dr. Ayesha Worsham. Actually, Dr. Ayesha, Goddess of the Universe, Master Manifester, Secure Financial Resources, Money In, Money Out, Worsham N.D.
And so it is. If they didn't know, they know now.
Now they know.
I love that.
And where are you located?
In the Milky Way.
Uh-oh. I'm like, where is that?
We're in it.
We're on Earth. We're on Earth. Can we find your physical manifestation? How about that?
Well, I'm in the Midwest.
You with
I'm in the
Ayanna?
Chicagoland area.
Oh, okay. Y'all not far from each other.
Same cold ass area. Yeah.
Same cold ass time zone.
So y'all went to medical school together.
Yes, we did.
Okay. I want y'all to talk about that because I remember, Ayanna, you telling me about when y'all was, when you were learning to, you have to correct me on this, okay? Help me with this. But something about a dead body, and y'all was learning from a dead body.
Nasty laugh.
And y'all were being really reverent. Y'all prayed and y'all this, but then you found like that wasn't the case with all your colleagues. I don't know if we could talk about, I don't know how far I can go with this. Did you remember the story?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you found that wasn't the case. Everybody wasn't being reverent to the cadavers, which shocked me, number one, because y'all are naturopath doctors. So we have this automatic view that these are people who are revolutionaries. They turn their back to mainstream medicine and forging a new way of empathy, passion, and wholeness and whole person. So not only were these people like the antithesis, if that's the right word of that, but also the fact that y'all was praying over this body and meditating and really. So was Ayesha part of that crew when y'all did that? And can y'all talk about medical school with some, I don't know, what is it to be a black naturopath doctor going to medical school? And just start wherever your heart takes you.
Ooh, so much can be said there because, I mean, there's a lot of layers to our experience going there. Number one, we uprooted our lives from our communities, wherever we were, from our all our little protective factors around us, and we moved to a state that had a very low percentage of Black people. Arizona at the time, I believe, either had 2 or 6% Black people. I mean, the Black people that I saw on a daily basis were the Black people in my class. Those 8.5 Black people that were in our class, and that was. Those are the Black people that I could see, that I laid eyes on. Outside of that, it was a while before I knew that there was a Black person living in my subdivision, or a Black family.
So it felt kind of like alienating and isolating.
It could definitely be isolating, and then there were things that there were experiences. I mean, when we began to talk about microaggressions and macroaggressions, on down the line, sometimes I may not have recognized it for what it was because it was it would be unexpected because I came from a different type of environment. And so that was an experience of itself. There's the political, there's the racial, there's then there's the academic, being an older student going back. Well, actually, we weren't even very much older students, but we weren't just fresh up out of undergrad heading to medical school, So you're in this environment where you're learning about holistic medicine and what is conjured up in the common, psyche around that, of it being something very caring, very compassionate, empathetic, something that's like a service to humanity. Here you are in this environment to learn this medicine, and you're finding yourself not experiencing that holistic experience overall in that environment. Is that correct? Is that what I'm understanding? Yes, that was one of the realizations that I had, and I was not alone in this realization.
Yeah.
Because we come there, and I came there. We moved together as a cohort. So our class, in many ways, was very close. But then I realized some things about our class, and I wasn't alone in this realization that the only overarching theme that connected everyone in that school was that we were there to get a doctorate in naturopathy. There are some people who were there to get a doctorate, period, so they can use it for, whatever. And that's their business, for whatever they need to use it for. But in terms of we all going to be up in here, on the same agenda, world peace and all this stuff. Nah, there were people that were supporting all kind of interesting politics that were not my own, that were their own. And through their own personal agendas. We had Mitt Romney supporters, Bush supporters, Obama supporters. We had everybody in our class I'm trying to understand how. I'm like, it seems a little divergent here, and that kind of what's going on right now. They don't really. We all got student loans, and we don't have no money, and we're trying to make this straight so we can live indoors and eat regular meals. And y'all voting for people, and promoting the politics of people who trying to defund everything that's going to keep you and your family alive because of whatever personal agendas you have that you're pushing. But the one thing I knew that we had in common was that we were all trying to get that degree in naturopathic medicine.
But you bring up a good point. You realize some people were in there to get a doctorate because they needed the symbol of the doctorate for to serve whatever their purpose was, and not necessarily to heal people. Yeah. Wow. That's fascinating. It's like that everywhere, but you just never think of it, right? We have stereotypes of certain places. Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't an island on its own. It was just a smaller understanding of the world that we live in. It's just the whole world, all the population in a small place. So, you have people from all over the place, from all of our backgrounds and different understandings in this small little building. So, excuse me, it wasn't that different from the world we live in now. Because you think, like you said, that everyone's supposed to go in Shanti and rubbing dirt on themselves and really relaxed and wearing saris, and that's just not the way it was.
That's okay.
Yes, but
I like that rubbing dirt part.
Exactly, which we did sometimes, but at the same time, it was just a smaller picture of the world that we live in now. So you had to be. It was surprising for us too. Like, oh wow, we're not being accepted just because we're on the same situation. No, we're still being kind of ignored and not paid attention to and sidelined, and we have to feel like we've got to speak up louder for ourselves. And so we created an organization there. Remember, Ish, we did in Imhotep to try to feel like to gain some community and to get some power for ourselves, so we could start putting our word out and feel a little bit stronger in our small little community. So we did something about it.
Yeah. So how did that go, Imhotep? Okay, y'all called on the ancient ancestor, the doctor of doctors, right? So
I'm not sure if it was. I can't remember which class it was. If it was Gerald, was it Gerald's class?
Yes,
or the class
Gerald
before
and Cheryl.
One of those classes that came before ours. They created it. We found out about it, and we were like, "That's the lick. Let's get on in there." So we got in there and we participated. It was fantastic because it provided one. I mean, it was a service-oriented, I don't know if it's still going on, but it was a service-oriented organization. Fantastic projects every year, donating to different organizations. It was a lot. It was fun. It was work, but it was great.
Okay. So, and then I think we got like about 10 minutes in order to save it, because, it'll pop us off and won't save it if you go too long on the live.
Oh, okay.
I want to be able to save it. Okay, so I want to ask you all, this is in the vein of kind of what we were starting to talk about. So in my writing course, I help people, one of my courses is that I help people with their writing their book or their writing projects. And my angle is that we're here to care for our writing. It's not about, I got to get this writing done so fast and by this certain deadline, and I got to kill myself, and it's none of the other. It's about caring for ourselves, because as we are writers, so this is a lifelong journey. And so in the course, we do talk about different ways that we care for ourselves while we're writing. And so in the spirit of self-care and caring for ourselves, would you like to share some practice or expound upon some of the practices that were mentioned for that people can do to care for themselves, especially in this time where we're told not to touch, not to be close, and here y'all coming on like revolutionaries, like, hey, a hug heals. Okay, that's revolutionary in times like this. In another time, it would just be like, okay, a hug heals. But now, I mean, hugs do heal. And being in the sun is important. And holding a hand is important. And I would think that it's even more important at a time when people are getting sick. Like, people need that connection to feel, just to feel whole and healthy. And yeah, so I'm just curious how, let's talk about self-care. Talk about self-love. You know, that's, everybody's talking about that, but everybody ain't got two naturopath doctors on the line.
Times are tough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's stuff coming up for everybody. One of the best pieces of advice that I got, I won't say best, but one very important piece of advice I got was to make a list of 5 things, your go-to things that you know you can do to make you feel better, just in case you can't remember at the time you are feeling the feels and you have your stuff done hit the fan. You walk in your room and you're like, oh my God, I'm falling apart. The sky is falling. What? And you got your list by your computer or sticking on your mirror saying, 1, write, 2, knit, 3, cook something, 4, call a friend, 5, you know, your list of 5 things that you can do to make yourself feel better, things that you love to do, because those things immediately don't come to us. You know, ground. I was just reminded to ground just now when we talked about grounding, earthing, you know, so you make that list because it's not always readily apparent in our minds what we need to do when we are in a state of crisis.
Mm-hmm. Dang. We were just talking about that. We was just talking about that, how it's different levels. Like, you know, you can have your first level of like, oh, I'm irritated today. You might be able to pull it together like Ayanna did. Where am I? Let me get focused. Okay, and then she figured it out. But then sometimes the crisis, like you said, it can get so far out of hand that you can't even think straight. Like everything becomes fuzzy. And then I was like, I need to make a little resource kit, a little booklet. And we were talking about that, how we need to make our little resource kit, our little booklet, so we could go back to it. So yes, thank you. At least 5 things you can do. Write it down, like you said, so you can always go back to it. Yeah, that's important. Thank you.
Mine was big and nice, those big, nice, tall letters.
Yep.
Only 5. I just wrote 5 because you don't want to be overwhelmed. Just 5. And it was laying right next to my computer. And I used that list because, I mean, this whole pandemic season, you know, this prolonged pandemic season, especially as scary as it was for 2000 and early 2001, that go-to list is for me, mine came in handy.
Yeah. Real quick, do you mind sharing your 5 things before we can all share like our 5 things?
I read it. Didn't you hear me, Ayanna?
She just did it.
Write, knit, cook something, listen to something nice, you know. So it's, yeah.
Call a friend, y'all.
You said call a friend.
Call a friend.
And grounding.
Yeah.
Grounding. Yeah, those are mine. I knit. I find joy in knitting. I find joy in cooking. I can spend hours in the kitchen making something simple because I just love to be in the kitchen. Writing. I love writing. I do trauma narrative writing for myself. And it's really helping me. It's been helping me all through the pandemic to reframe my myriad traumas in a sci-fi fantasy format where I get to write how I want it to be. And I get all off into my stories.
Okay, I'm gonna have you back on just so we can talk about that trauma narrative fantasy. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have you back on for that.
We can do that.
Cousin.
Yes.
What's your 5 things?
My 5 things: music. Put some music on. Dance. Mine's crochet. So I don't knit. I crochet.
Waiting on my hat.
Girl, I just made one.
Just kidding. No pressure.
I'm working on hats now, so you just about to get yours, actually.
No pressure.
What are those three? Those are three. 4, meditate.
Mm-hmm.
5, I feel like I need to do 6. I have a couple that I'm thinking of. Get outside, like do something out of my brain. Get outside where I can see something. I like going outside to like an art museum or to a movie if I feel comfortable, or outside to take a walk with the weather when the weather is holding up, just so I can like get outside of it, because I'll get caught up in here. So yeah, something just to get me outside of myself for just a few minutes to an hour would be great if I could do it. That's when I have more time. I feel like I need to just shut it down and just cut out a whole afternoon to reset things. Sometimes that'll help. So that's like my 5, 6 one.
Okay. Let me see. Mine are: 1, I love to go to the salt tank, the salt bath.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I love to walk. You want to go? I love to work out with a personal trainer. That really helps me a whole lot, but that's not always accessible. So in terms of what's always accessible, walking, sitting at the ocean, going to the salt bath, and the working out with the trainer, and the writing, like you said. And I have to plug it because it is true. Dream like a pro. So the dream journaling with tarot, which is, I developed a whole course on that, but that's because I developed it from a practice that I actually do. And that actually helps me with a lot of anxiety and it's actually preventive as much as it is responsive to the moment. So, yeah.
I need to know more what you're talking about. What's this dream journaling?
Tell us more.
That's my course. It's 100% online, where I show you how to use dream journaling with tarot, and you don't have to have any experience with tarot. You don't have to have any experience with dream journaling, and it's about using our dreams, even if you can't remember your dreams. I show you how to still get the benefit from it, using our dreams to help us with self-direction, grounding, heighten our intuition, our creativity, and to lead a more fulfilling life. I also talk about anxiety as an invitation for creativity. To use a good friend of mine, she reads cards, and she showed me how that anxiety that I feel is actually in my card. It's not the tarot card. She reads a different kind of card. She said it's actually in my card, but it's an invitation. And so, yeah, I talk about that, how anxiety can be an invitation for creativity, especially because a lot of creative people experience anxiety, right? That kind of comes hand in hand with that brilliance, that creativity. So, yeah, in the link in my bio is all of the information. Plus my website is lifechangingwriting.com.
Okay.
Nice.
Thank you. Promotion in the family. What you got, Ish?
What you want to promote, Ish?
Oh, well, I am knit with a naturopath. So I'm a knitwear designer, I'm a writer, and I'm a naturopathic doctor.
That is cool. So the website is called Knit with a Naturopath?
Nope.
Oh.
I don't have a website yet. That's something I'm working on, thinking about doing.
Okay. I think it's done. Knit with a Naturopath? I got super excited about that. Yeah. And I don't even knit.
You can always reach out to me on IG.
Okay. And your IG handle again is?
Knit with a Naturopath.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you. Oh, thanks, ladies. Any last words? It was great being on here with y'all.
Right. So fun. Thank you. Thank you, Ish, for hopping on. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. Last words. Love yourself first, because ain't nobody putting you first but you.
Bit that boom. Ayanna?
Let me see. I don't have any last words. I would want to say that Ayesha gave me my first tarot card deck. So, yes, back in the day. I still have it.
Why did I forget? Sorry, Ayanna. Ayanna gave me my first tarot card deck.
What? Get
I
out.
completely
Triangle
forgot.
going on here.
This is so crazy. I completely forgot that. Yeah. So my daughter is the one who directed me. She was like, "You ever thought about doing those cards?" And I was like, I don't know. And then I was telling Ayanna, and then Ayanna was like, "Come on, let's go." And she got me the cards. And then next thing you know, I got a future $1 million course created. in the future, it's gonna be $1 million, but the future is now. So.
Yes, all that.
All right, ladies. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Let's
my
do it
pleasure.
again.
Yes, please
This
enjoy
was
your
Thank
fun.
day.
you. Yes. I loved
Yes.
it. It's a wonderful way to start the day.
Mwah. Peace out, sisters.
Deuces.
Deuces.